It is my pleasure to introduce to you our 2017 Distinguished Alumni honorees. First, thank you to Alumni Coordinator Stephanie Smith for leading the good work of our Distinguished Alumni Award process again this year. Thanks also to our committee members who invested their time and their energy to help South Plains College shine a light on our successful former students. Each of those committee members is listed on page 12 of your program. You know, our previous distinguished alumni have demonstrated great success in fields such as education, law enforcement, politics, as well as on athletic fields and performance stages. This year, our distinguished alumni honorees have made their marks in healthcare and in engineering. Our honorees this year are excellent representations of the unique student demographic here at South Plains College. Both of this year's honorees experienced college as non-traditional students, and both began their educational journey by completing a South Plains College certificate program. So you know the slogan for Nike. I hear you. Just do it. Well, her grandmother did it, her mother did it, so Jennifer Galey did it too. However, Jennifer's original steps led her to do it the traditional way. It is going to college, and the traditional way is straight out of high school. So, Jennifer enrolled at Tyler Junior College the fall right after her high school graduation, and she was blessed and talented and therefore earned scholarships. These scholarships validated that she could grow her natural musical talents in college. She could build on those 8 years of band and choir and private voice and piano lessons. A career in music was possible. She had paying gigs in Lubbock even before she graduated from high school. So Jennifer enrolled and she gave it her all. As a member of virtually all of the college choirs and bands, she managed to balance her performance and travel schedules with her 20-hour course loads. But then it happened. It was her heart. It felt like it was breaking because she missed Joe. Fast forward to the present day, and as she and her high school sweetheart Joe celebrate this year their 32nd wedding anniversary, you understand that her decision to stop college, marry, and raise their family was a good investment. Now, being a wife and mother is a job in itself, but Jennifer also worked outside the home in a variety of jobs. She was a waitress, she worked in retail at a makeup counter, she worked in a school cafeteria, Jennifer even drove a Smyers school bus. But let's get back to her mother and her grandmother. Remember, they did it. After years of work, both inside and outside the home, and once the children were well on their way to independence, Jennifer's grandmother enrolled at Texas Tech University. Many years later, when Jennifer started junior high school, her mother enrolled in college. So in her mid-30s, Jennifer did it. She enrolled in the vocational nursing program at South Plains College's Reese Center. Program coordinator and associate professor of vocational nursing, Corby Berryhill, said that Jennifer found her passion in that one-year technical certificate program. And no wonder. Passionate describes how our health occupations faculty feel about their students. Jennifer graduated at the top of her class and was even selected by the faculty to receive their highest accolade, the Florence Nightingale Award. Jennifer says the single pivotal factor in her decision to continue her education was her SPC professors' buy-in to her success. They wanted her and her classmates to succeed. Their encouragement continued to bolster her as she completed her associate's degree, her bachelor's degree, and her master's degree. Jennifer has reached the pinnacle of nursing as a family nurse practitioner. Thousands of patients at UMC, beginning in 2003, owe their good health to Jennifer's care. She was one of the very first 2 LVNs to be hired in their fast-track ER. Working on the post-surgical floor 3 East, better known as the Beast, Jennifer was named Nurse of the Unit. And at the UMC Emergency Center, she was named Preceptor of the Year. Now, a preceptor is an experienced practitioner who provides supervision during clinical practice and facilitates the application of theory to practice for students. Jennifer has served as preceptor for so many students, from institutions like Texas Tech University, Angelo State University, Lubbock Christian University, West Texas A&M University, the University of Mary Hardin Baylor, and of course, South Plains College, all of whom applied to work specifically with her. In this role, she pays forward the excellence in teaching demonstrated by all her South Plains College faculty, those in allied health as well as those outside of it, including Jim Young, who is in attendance tonight, whom she mentioned specifically. Wow, that A&P course. Hindsight says it was wonderful. In her role as nurse practitioner, Jennifer pays forward the genuine personal interest in and compassion for her patients she feels she was given here at South Plains, and her patients feel this. You know, when you and I choose our healthcare professional, we do so very carefully. We examine their qualifications with objectivity, but our choice also carries a heavy subjective element. We have to like them. We are trusting them with our life. Jennifer's decision to leave her Lubbock practice for the rural healthcare setting has made all of Littlefield, Texas a better place. And not just for the people who live there, but also because several of Jennifer's patients from Lubbock and elsewhere traveled to Littlefield because they did not want to give up being her patient. We even know of some patients who come from Big Spring and Midland to have her care for them. That is evidence of a very special level of trust and affection. Please join me in welcoming to the lectern 2017 Distinguished Alumna, Jennifer Galey.
Thank you very much. You know, one of the very first course I took here, I borrowed $500 from my neighbor until payday so that I could start the nurse aid course. That was the very first one I took here. And never in my wildest dreams would I ever would have thought that I would be standing here before you today. I was very nervous that I could even pass that course seriously. You know, I grew up in a small town, and I had big dreams, but none of them really included having 1 degree, much less 3. I'm very blessed that I have that, and none of that would have been possible if I would have had my husband. I can tell you now that without his support, I certainly would not be here, and he has always been my biggest cheerleader, and I thank him the most right now. I did many jobs, as Julie said, in my lifetime. I mean, many jobs. But they all were, I try to have a passion for each one of those because as a child growing up in a small town, for a farmer's kid, you know, hoeing cotton was not a glorious job. So when I started the vocational nursing program and they expected that excellence from me, I knew that that was something that I had to do. I found myself, when I started my prerequisites in 2003, I just started on the floor and finished my nurse aid course and applied for the vocational nursing program, got accepted, and then I went to orientation, and I met all these instructors, and they scared me to death. And they didn't scare me near as much as they should have, because when I got in the clinical, it was even worse. But they always expected excellence, and I really appreciated each one of them. As I very first came in, each one expected me to do my best as they showed their best as well. My friend Anissa Thomas had completed the program with them, and she finished up to try to prepare me for what was ahead. And all the things they told me in that orientation class truly did come to fruition, including my graduation, which finally happened. Each one of those instructors that I had, Mr. Young, it was very hard, but it was very worth it. I had Julie as she was my speech teacher, and many other instructors, all, expected excellence and how to buy in. I tell my students all the time, and I did even when I was at LVN, before I got my RN, and before I went on to my BSN, that had it not been for the instructors at South Plains College, I would not have succeeded at all, because they were not only hard, but they were fair, and they expected the best from me. And as long as I gave my best, they gave me their best. And I tell every new nursing student that I get, because I still get them coming through my clinic now as a nurse practitioner, and all those South Plains students that come through, I let them know that if they will simply give their best, that the instructors as well will give their best, and they can succeed at anything that they can do. A farm kid that came to a big city, it was very scary, and then going to college, you can always succeed at what you do if you have teachers that have buy-in and buy-in and want you to succeed. And that's what I found when I came to South Plains College. Even when I went on to get my prerequisites before I got my associate degree, I found that every instructor that I had wanted me to do well. As long as I did well, they wanted me to do well. And that is something much different that you get when you get to a big university. South Plains College is different, and I appreciated that. And I know that my success was because of the instructors that I had here. I know that without them, without my family, without God, I truly would not be here today and standing and accepting this award. And I'm so humbled and honored to be chosen for this Distinguished Alumni Award, and I thank you very much.
To weld, cause to combine and form a harmonious or effective whole, to make one from many. Creating one from many and ensuring that that one is solid and effective has been a part of Alan Foster's work his entire career. Uniquely, he has moved from welding as a form of metallurgy to welding as a form of bringing people and equipment together to form safe and effective work environments. The son of two educators, SPC was always in the plan for Alan. His parents worked in education for 23 years in Levelland alone. Kenneth Foster, who retired as principal at Levelland's Capital Elementary, and our Shirley Foster, who retired as academic counselor at South Plains College. The thing that did it, though, was a tour of Pete's welding shop. In Alan's junior year of high school, that made his direction clear. Welding was neat, and that's what he wanted to do. So much so, he started taking classes when he was still in high school. He completed our welding technology certificate program, and he entered the work world while attending part-time over the next 4 years to earn his Associate of Applied Science degree right here at SPC. He loved his work, and he thought it paid well, but after 10 years of this physically demanding work, Alan reconsidered if this would be right for him for the distant future. A leap of faith with his wife landed her a teaching position in Brenham, Texas, so that they could be near Texas A&M University for his re-entry to college. Now, he had not been accepted to Texas A&M, and he didn't have a job, but away they went, bolstered by some wise words that Alan sought out from SPC Vice President of Administrative Affairs, Earl Gerstenberger. He said, "If you're going to do something, do it all the way. Don't ever look back." Alan says he would rely on the strong principle conveyed by those words many times as his career unfolded. Similar leaps of faith took he and his wife Deborah to jobs for him in Houston, Seguin, and Texas City, Texas. Now, a more significant leap of faith was required when he received a job offer from the nation's 5th largest refinery in Illinois to create a quality assurance program, which he had never done before, because the EPA was threatening to pull their air permit, which would completely shut down the whole operation. Well, he accepted. Instead of piloting the program, however, on a minor project first, company leadership required him to pilot it on the most critical unit in this nation's 5th largest refinery. Now that is doing something all the way. And it worked. His quality assurance program worked perfectly. Modestly, Alan said, yeah, it was kind of a big deal. Alan had made a name for himself in creating quality assurance programs. In his words, and speaking to this layperson, he says quality assurance ensures that the people and equipment responsible for making really bad stuff don't blow up. He jokingly made the point that, refineries don't make cotton candy and gumballs. He was recruited by the Fluor Corporation, which allowed his family's return to Texas, though he oversaw projects around the world during his 4 years with the company. His last position there was systems completion lead in the ExxonMobil Iraq West Kurna project. This was the largest project in the world, with a total spend of over $52 billion. Alan's reputation for excellence allowed him to lead projects for other industry giants, such as Phillips 66. For Matheson Trigas, he was project manager at the largest acetylene manufacturing plant in the United States. You may know that acetylene is one of the most volatile gases known. His is a volatile industry. On March 23, 2005, 15 people died and at least 170 were injured in a Texas City refinery explosion. What physically rocked Texas City also sent emotional shockwaves through the entire petrochemical industry. Carolyn Merritt, who was appointed by President Bush to be chairperson of the U.S. Chemical Safety Board, the federal agency which investigates all major chemical disasters, discussed this explosion in a CBS News interview. She said, "These things do not have to happen. They are preventable, they are predictable. People do not have to die because they're earning a living." Well, after the Texas City BP plant was shut down and after a major engineering company had failed to complete the safety project, Alan was recruited to get it done. He says because he was leading an excellent team in 12-hour days for 7 days a week for a solid 6 months, and doing so under the scrutiny of agencies, including the Chemical Regulatory Board, the Texas Railroad Commission, and OSHA, Alan's team completed this $600 million project to help ensure disasters like that would never happen again. Though the jobs were dangerous, challenging, and required huge leaps of faith, Alan took them, and he never looked back, Earl. He says his practical background has been a key to his success. And I quote, "There is no question as to the value of the education and training I received at South Plains College. Here, he learned the skills and the value of interpersonal relationships." Please join me in congratulating 2017 Distinguished Alumnus, Alan Foster.
Thank you for that introduction. I don't know if I can top that or not. Those that know me know I'm not much of a speech maker, although my son over there says I lecture him all the time, so he might challenge me a little bit on that. I can't begin to describe the honor of receiving this award. 25 years ago, or over 25 years ago, I would have never imagined receiving something like this. In fact, at that time, it was kind of questionable as to whether I would even go to college or exactly what I would do. Well, even more unbelievable than that is the fact that it's been over 25 years. There's been a lot of things happen, good, bad, a lot of things that I've forgotten. But one thing that I haven't forgotten, and that's where it all started and where my roots are. You know, from the home I was raised in, to the church I attended as a kid and grew up in, to South Plains that kick-started my career. So Pete, thank you, buddy. You helped get all this started. Mom, Dad, you were there all along. And Earl, that conversation you and I had 25 years ago this August, you may not have thought much of it at the time, but I can't tell you the number of times that little voice, that little Earl Gerstenberger in the back of my mind was saying, just do it, go all the way. You know, there's another gentleman that's not here tonight, and that was Travis Spears. When I was contemplating going back to school, I was having a conversation with Travis one day, and it's kind of funny now that I look back on it, but I told Travis, I said, Travis, I just don't know if I'm ready to do this. I mean, I'm going to be almost 30 years old by the time I graduate and get my degree. And Travis kind of, if you knew Travis, you know what I'm talking about. He kind of sat back with that little smirk of his and he says, well, the way I see it, I said, you're going to be 30 years old either way, so you might as well go get a degree and be 30. So, you know, again, that little Travis Spears in the back of my head whenever I've made a lot of these leaps of faith, you know, like moving to Chicago, you know, I never in my wildest dreams would have even thought about leaving Texas. Well, I did. Right before I made that decision, you know, I could hear Travis back there. You know, you're going to be, whatever I was, 40 years old, I guess. You're going to be 40 years old either way. You might as well go live in Chicago a while and say you lived in Chicago. So anyway, thanks again. This is a real honor. And my wife couldn't be here tonight, but I owe just as much gratitude to her because she's been with me every step of the way. And a strong presence, obviously, of God and my religion. That's without that, none of it would have worked. So thanks again.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to present to you